I'm in Morocco and I have some interesting things to report, both positive and negative. Stay tuned to hear all about that. Hi everybody, Amanda Head, still here in Morocco reporting for The Rebel, and I wanted to wrap up my thoughts here. I'm leaving tomorrow, but I wanted to offer just a little bit of insight into my experience here, which has been, for the most part, really great. Wrapping up from the last video when I was talking about going through Israeli security, I forgot to add a few little funny things. As they were sifting through my luggage and scanning for explosives to make sure I'm not a terrorist, because, you know, I look like a terrorist and all. But as they were sifting through the luggage, the young gentleman, IDF soldier, who was going through my stuff said, "Do you speak Hebrew?" And I said, "No." And he said, "That's a shame." And I was thinking about it and I'm like, looking at me. So my hair kind of looks dark in this video, but my hair in actuality, when I'm out in the sunlight and in normal light, it's light brown. So I'm very fair complected, although I do have a little bit of a tan now. But I am the epitome of a wasp, and my Canadian boyfriend always gasps when I say that term because he thinks it's offensive or something. But I am a straight up wasp. I'm white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant. And it was just interesting him asking me that question because as a wasp, there is literally no reason ever for me to have learned Hebrew. I wish I had. It would have helped me a lot when I was in Israel, but I have not. Also, it was really interesting. I had a layover in Madrid, obviously Spanish-speaking country, when I'm in Los Angeles and I'm trying to communicate with someone who only speaks Spanish. They don't speak any English. It is always very, very frustrating because yes, I'm one of those Americans that gasp, clutch your pearls, I think you should speak English in America. But it was interesting because once I got to Madrid and I heard Spanish, because I don't understand any Arabic or Hebrew, but I got to Madrid where I understand a little bit of Spanish, and I've never been so excited to hear a language that I just vaguely and relatively know. And interestingly enough, here in Morocco last night, I was looking for my camel guide, the guy who was going to lead me through the African desert on a camel. I was looking for him, and he had told me a place that we meet outside of this square here. And I was trying to communicate with the cops, and my French is not great. Arabic is non-existent, so the only way we communicated was Spanish. So I found that interesting. But yesterday was an interesting day, and I'm tired and I'm emotional right now. So if you see any emotion, it's a reflection of the fear that I felt yesterday. So I embarked on a journey from my Riyadh to try to find the Jewish cemetery. This country at one point was majority Jewish, and now I think there are only 300 Jews in the whole city of Marrakesh. So I attempted to find this Jewish cemetery, got lost. The maps here, like paper maps and Google Maps and Maps.me, which I was using because I didn't have any cell reception, but the maps are very dubious. You will see something on a map that looks like a major thoroughfare, and in actuality, in real life, it is really just like an alley or a little corridor. So long story short, I got lost, and I don't know how many kilometers away from the city center, but I had gone down some corridors trying to find my way out of this maze, and I was the only person, and the only people that I passed very, very rarely and sporadically were highly observant Muslims. And then as I'm walking through, and I have a video of this that I'm going to post on my Twitter, I hear the call to prayer, and I notice that there are speakers literally just on the other side of the corridor. So it was very loud and very jarring and very eerie. And I will admit I panicked, and there were a few moments when I was short of breath and I was just thinking, holy crap, I have gotten myself into a real problem here. Now, Marrakesh is not known for having issues. The last terrorist attack carried out, I think, by Al-Qaeda was in 2011. But that morning, yesterday morning, I had gone down a rabbit hole on Google, Googling terrorism and kidnapping in Marrakesh. don't do that. It's like if you find a mole and then you go to WebMD and try to figure out, and of course it's obviously cancer. So anyway, that was not the best way to start out the day, by fishing through the internet for instances and warnings about kidnapping and terrorism here. But anyway, I eventually found my way out. Thank God. I was freaking. Another thing I've noticed here, another thing I'm probably going to get emotional about, animal conditions. Went down another rabbit hole on Google. The camels that we rode yesterday actually seemed to be treated very well. I did not see any visible signs of sores or anything like that. Of course, their knees are calloused because that's kind of part of how they have evolved and how God created them, so that they are equipped with the means to carry out the duties and their purpose here on earth. But the monkeys, chains around their neck. I stood from afar to watch these handlers with the monkeys, and the monkeys had chains around their neck. They were relatively lightweight, and I was watching the handlers and the way that they dealt with them and cared for them, and they did seem to be very humane. But it's still something to think about, and I meant to look up this quote before I did this video, but I didn't. I think it was Gandhi who said something about you can tell the condition of a country based on their treatment of animals, and it ain't good here. So last thought before I wrap up and start packing to head to the airport. I was in the market today buying leather. Morocco is known for its leather tanneries, and I bought a leather bag, and he originally quoted me, I think it's 700 dirhams, and I got him down to 200. And he said, you make hard bargain. And he said, where are you from? I said, I'm from the United States. He said, oh, hard bargain, like Donald Trump, which I found to be really funny. And it was an interesting and lighthearted anecdote before I head home. I've got a 20-hour layover in Madrid, but I'm hoping to get out into the city and see just a little bit and get another stamp on my passport. That's it. That's all I got. I hope you all are having a fantastic week so far, and I will be back in my regular studio environment on Wednesday. We'll see how long it takes me to get over my jet lag and time change and all of that. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel. If you enjoyed my commentary and want to hear more from all of us here at The Rebel, subscribe to our premium content at www.therebel.media/shows. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter for all of our latest news, and download our new app for The Rebel Media on the App Store. That way you will have super easy access to all of our latest videos and your favorite Rebel shows. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel.